There's been a lot of speculation with the Disneyland Forward project of where Coco and Avatar will be headed. Well, due to a new rumor out of Mice Chat, we're hearing that they might not be going into the places that they were originally talked about. We're not just talking about the fact that they're moving from Disneyland to California Adventure. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Vash, you sent this to me, and I'm probably going to ask you to lead this a little bit. Mice Chat has an update. They're saying this Coco ride and this Avatar ride are not going where we think they're going. By the way, kudos to Disney. It looks like they've actually cast a woman to play Luisa out there from Encanto.
We tip our hat
legitimately shocked.
I mean, I was sure that they were gonna go another direction with that. Vash, what do you got for us?
I don't think I would have. I would not have blamed them for going in another direction with that one, just for the accuracy of it. But
well, there's a time when accuracy counts, and there's a time where accuracy is probably going to tank the stock price again, and
yes.
Ron DeSantis is going to get a phone call to say they did it again.
Yeah, not so good. Well, at least there are some people who are receiving phone calls, apparently within Imagineering, talking about where Avatar and Coco might actually go and how that might impact the Disney California Adventure Park itself. If we look into this article here, this Mice Chat update that they release every single Monday, we can actually find a refrain here. Change is a constant. Recent changes at Imagineering appear to have resulted in shifts to the announced projects coming to the Disneyland Resort. While the new Avengers e-ticket seems to still be on track for construction to start next year, we're starting to hear from people inside the company that the Avatar and Coco projects may be in flux. We expect both to still happen, but likely in locations other than originally planned. We've been told that the teams measured crowd levels in Pixar Pier and determined that a major new attraction in the tight confines of the pier's far side might cause a bottleneck and difficulty queuing guests. To catch people up here a little bit, Pixar Pier was one area that was heavily rumored to be accepting this Coco attraction, specifically right behind Incredicoaster, and then you would there would be kind of a break in the coaster itself where you would then enter the queue and board the attraction. Apparently, that didn't go so well according to the tests that they've conducted. As a result, it was suggested that Coco be moved to Hollywoodland, which would not only allow Hollywood Boulevard and the animation building to remain, hopefully the Hyperion as well, but also the rerouting of the red cars if budgets allow. So perhaps the red car trolley might not be permanently removed. The upside is that Monsters Inc. would be saved, as the Coco attraction would take the spot next door, where Hollywood and Dine was once located. This project shift would also allow DCA to retain all of its current attractions while still adding new ones, meaning an increase in attraction capacity instead of the expected loss if Avatar consumed all of Hollywood land. But it also means that a large new plot of land needs to be found for the Avatar project, and that might need to wait for the big third park expansion or the Disneyland Forward expansion areas on the west side there, expecting to be an area around Disneyland and Pixar Place hotels. So that is kind of what's going on right there. And just to give people a lowdown of the areas that we're actually talking about, if my screen would load there, sorry. This is an aerial view of Disneyland. As you can see right there, you have Disneyland up top and then Disney California Adventure down below. And apparently the rumor was that Coco would take place somewhere in this area, right behind Incredicoaster right there. Well, apparently that might not be the case for the Coco attraction. Instead, they might actually take up residence in the Hollywoodland area. You can see that in the kind of the middle of your screen there. And you have Monsters Inc. right there. That kind of Hollywood and Dine area is that area that I have my cursor over right now, just to the north of the Hyperion. Where Avatar might go might be this location down here in the Symbol lot, assuming that the Disneyland Forward project gets off the ground and can actually get bridges or pedestrian walkways over to this side. So that might be the current area, which I think would be good for the entire resort. Your guys' thoughts on all this?
I think it's good that they are considering actually adding attractions here instead of taking them away. I still think that they have no idea where all of this stuff is going. looking at I almost said Grand Fiesta Tour, the Gran Concurso de Talentos or whatever is on there on that. That just means big talent show, by the way.
Sure.
This to me looks like it was supposed to go inside the Mexico Pavilion. And if it's still going to be a dark ride, which I don't know how you do this, if it's not going to be a dark ride,
Right.
That means a big show building, which is it's got to be behind something, or you're going to be getting a lot of go away green or big sky blue or whatever they call that color. So.
Well, and they said all of these were shovel ready projects and so forth, and Coco becoming as soon as 2026 is when they're going to break down this project. Now it seems that even that date might be in flux if they end up deciding on a Hollywoodland version of this attraction, because remember, the parking structure has to be built first in order to alleviate the bus drop-off area and so forth up north of this. So that needs to be completed before any work can be actually begin on a Coco themed experience. So that's interesting. That's one. But two, with the Avatar thing, if we're waiting for Disneyland Forward and specifically the plot of land to the west side to open up for this thing, well, now, this could be, I don't know, starting construction on what, 2030, 2029? I have no idea. They have within 10 years to spend $1.9 billion on Disneyland Forward related projects, but that's 10 years.
Yeah, and I really don't see this as a good response to Epic at this point. They've got to show up and they've got to do something amazing that hasn't already been seen before. That's really been the advantage for Epic at this point. Another part of Harry Potter, Super Nintendo World, obviously that's still fresh in people's minds. Pandora World of Avatar has been around for a very long time at Walt Disney World. I don't know. They've got to do something that wows people and is actually new at this point. And I'm not seeing it. I would love for there to be a Coco ride. I think that's a great theme to put onto a dark ride, but I just don't see it. And I don't know, if they're not going to be retheming something else, I have a little bit more hope that they're not just going to bust something and then pretend like they've got a brand new attraction like they've been doing with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So, Marvin, Jay, you have anything you want to throw in here? I know you guys aren't necessarily California guys.
I'm just glad, like you said, I'm glad that they are using potentially land that's not occupied by something else, because it's always striking to me that Universal, place with such finite property, is finding new land to build things on, whereas Disney, which has only Walt Disney World only has 40% of its actual land developed, is always just like, where can we fit this?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that they're actually not taking things away to give things for the future.
Well, and a very attraction-starved park as well. I mean, DCA needs attractions desperately. They really can't afford to to replace in a similar fashion that maybe they were thinking about for Hollywood Studios, for example. It really does need to stand on its own. And so I do agree with you, Marvin. If we can, expand and not just replace, I think that'll be good for just about everybody. You can increase the capacity of these parks themselves. You want to sell more Lightning Lane as a result or anything like that, you can go ahead. I'm sure they want to have additional justification to charge as much as like $105 at the high end of that park hopping feature there. If you want to do all that, well, then you need to really add at this point. And I think it would be really good, be really great to keep the Red Car Charlie, be really awesome to keep Monsters Inc. And it would be pretty great as well to reinvigorate the Hollywood land area, because it could be a top tier land. Could benefit from Hispanic influence, which is a big thing down there in Southern California, and it's a market that they've wanted to appeal to for a long time. All those things could work beautifully in that land, and it doesn't overload, I would say, the left side of DCA like their original plan might have.
We're gonna stay tuned, and we're gonna follow everything that we can about whatever's going on there with Disney California Adventure Forward, which is, by the way, they sold it as Disneyland Forward. It's all about Disney California Adventure. Well, if that's one way to save Walt's vision for Disneyland, then go ahead and do it.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.